Comes on everyone. Let's start off. Great. So that we did was parallelogram law of vectors, and then we saw something called Lami's theorem. Hope everyone has gone through the sheets which I sent. Right. So if you have any doubts, we can see them at the end of the session. Great. So the next thing is the scalar dot product. So what is the scalar dot product? Now, like I said, this whole chapter, right, is a made-up chapter because we kept seeing things and in science, physics and everything, people said, okay, all these things are following a certain set of rules, so why don't we make a chapter out of it? And that's where we got vectors from. So scalar dot product. One second. Where are the people? So this is what people have observed. There are certain scalar quantities. Depend on the magnitude of the vectors. And cosine of the angle between them. Right? Example, let's see the one of the most common thing. Let's say we have a block and let's say force is F, the displacement is S and theta. Remember the formula in school which you studied? Work Fs cos theta. Now see, work is a scalar quantity. It depends on force, it depends on displacement, come magnitude, and depends on the angle between them. And this is not the first time. People have seen multiple quantities like this. If you take power, this is given by Fv cos theta. F is force, V is velocity. Right? We can even define later on, you will see quantities called electric flux. So this is given by Ea cos theta. So E is called electric field, A is the area. So people have noticed, there are a lot of quantities which are coming in this form. Two vectors ka magnitude and the cos of the angle between them. So that is how it is always going. Just give me a minute. Dhruv, I can't see you. Your cam is completely blank. Electric field and A is the area vector. So since we keep on noticing this, right, this thing keeps coming up multiple times. So people said, okay, why don't we just create something out of it? And this is how it was done. So they said this mod A, mod B, cos theta. We write this thing as A bar dot B bar. So that is how we pronounce this. Dhruv, I can't see you. Dhruv, are you there? Yeah. So you need to sort out all this stuff before the class starts through. This is not the first time. This is already the third or the fourth time this is happening. So yeah, please sort it out. Like you have a problem with the cam, you can always order one from Blinkit and figure it out. You don't need 2 weeks to figure out a problem with the cam. So mod A mod B cos theta A dot B. So this is how you pronounce this thing. So we pronounce this as A bar dot B bar. This is how we write this thing. So basically, right, since this thing kept coming every time, people said, why should we write, AB cos theta? Let's call it A dot B, meaning Fs cos theta becomes F bar dot S bar. Fv cos theta becomes F bar dot V bar. Field flux becomes E bar dot A bar. You're getting it? So that's the way it was created. So what is scalar dot product? It is something we made up because you kept on seeing the quantities every time. So we said, okay, let's call this thing scalar dot product. Clear with this? How do we calculate this? So let's see what is the physical significance of this, and let's see how it works. But all clear with this page? Great. So how do we get this dot product? How do we calculate this thing? Let's take something simple. Suppose if I give you I dot I. Again, remember, what is the formula? A dot B is simply mod A mod B cos theta. So we can write I bar dot I cap will be mod I cap mod I cap. And what is the angle between I cap and I cap? If you have two vectors in x-axis, what is the angle between them? 0. That would be cos 0. Mod I cap is 1. This is again 1 and cos 0 is 1. So therefore, I cap dot I cap is 1. You can do the same thing with j cap. So you can write j cap dot j cap. That also will be mod j1. That is 1. K cap dot k cap is also 1. So if you do like vectors, you get 1. And if you do the opposite ones, if you do I dot j, that would be mod I mod j. And what is the angle between x and y axis? 90. Cos 90 is 0. So if you do the unlike vectors, I dot k 0, j dot k 0. So there, if you have the like ones, it is same, and if they're the dot product becomes 0 there, right? So that is 1. Now if you have two vectors, a bar, which is axi cap plus ayj cap plus azk cap, and if you have a b bar, which is bxi cap, byj cap, and bzk cap. And now if I have to do a dot b, see what we do here. Remember, there are 3 terms and 3 terms here, so we have to multiply each thing with everything. So multiply ax with this, and ax with this. I'll just write it down. It's a little lengthy, but let's see. Ax, bx, I cap dot I cap, ax, by, I cap dot j cap, ax, b dot, I dot k cap. Then we multiply ay with each term. Ay, bx, j dot I cap. You will see a pattern there. Only the j coefficients will multiply together. And when you do with the az, same thing, az into bx, az into by, az into bz. You can clearly see here, this term becomes 0. This is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Agreed? And you're just left with I dot I is 1, so this becomes ax bx plus ay by. So that's the easy way to remember. You just multiply the I coefficients, j coefficients, and k coefficients. This is how you get a dot product. So if I give you two vectors and ask you what is A dot B, this is what you do. Okay with this. So what is the primary use of dot product? So in 11th and 12th, right, in physics, generally, most of the times, uh, the dot product is especially useful to find the angle between two vectors. See, if I give you two lines in an xy plane, right, it is easy. But if I ask you to find vectors of two lines or two vectors in 3 dimension, it becomes very difficult to visualize how the vectors will look in 3D. So that is when the dot product will play a role. We will see some vectors later on. I'll ask you to find angles. But let's go ahead with this. All clear with this page? Any doubts on this? All clear? Then now let's see. So A dot B is mod A, mod B, cos theta. So if you want to find the angle between the vectors, this is A dot B by mod A, mod B. You know everything here. So what is A dot B? AX, BX, AY, BY, plus AZ, BZ. Y, what is mod A? Root over AX square, AY square, AZ square. And what is mod B? Bx square, by square, and bz square. There. This is how you can get angle between two vectors if I know A bar and B bar. That would be one of the major use for this. Now, other than this, few properties here. So if you take A dot B bar, this is same as B bar dot A bar. If you have A dot B plus C, you can expand this and write it as A dot B plus A dot C. If A bar is perpendicular to B bar, then I'll write down. If two vectors are perpendicular, then A bar dot B bar is 0. This is one important thing, right? This will come a lot actually. Not the question exactly like this, but this will pop up in different forms later on. Can't we say cos theta is A cap plus B cap? How can you say cos theta is A cap and B cap? Okay, you're saying you're divided? No, cos theta is A cap dot B cap. It's not plus. It's a dot, right? So clear so far, everyone? Yeah, and if you have the same vector, A bar dot A bar, this can be written as mod A, cos 0. So this can be simply written as A square. So A dot A is A square, the magnitude of the square. So that's how you find the dot product there, and that's how you get the angle. But what is the physical significance exactly? Like, how can we think about this physical significance? All clear with this? So the dot product, right, tells you how one vector, affects what is the effect of one vector in the direction of another vector. For example, if this is A bar and this is B bar, and let's say this is theta. So A bar dot B bar is mod A, mod B bar, cos theta. So let's try to understand this, what it means. Let's call this A bar and B bar. Think of like this. Let's say someone shines a light this way. You're shining some light. When you do this, you get a shadow. So this black line which I'm drawing here is the shadow of A bar on B bar, which is nothing but A cos theta. So this is the shadow of A bar along B bar. So when you shine light like this, the question is simply like this. What is the length of the shadow of A on B bar? which is a cos theta. So this is the name for this. So we call this thing vector component of a bar along v bar. Yeah, it looks like some big term, but nothing. Think of like this. What is the length of the shadow of A on B? How much? A cos theta. In which direction? The shadow is in which direction? In the direction of B. What is the direction of a vector? A unit vector, isn't it? When someone asks you what is the direction of the vector, he's simply asking you to find the unit vector. So the question has become like this. What is the length of the shadow and in which way is the shadow acting? The shadow is in the direction of B bar and the length of the shadow is A cos theta. So this is called a vector component of A bar along B bar. Similarly, I can even do this. This is B bar and this is A bar. Well, let's say if you shine the light this way now. So you're shining the light always perpendicular to the other vector. So perpendicular to A bar. Now you will notice this will be the length of the shadow. So this is the shadow of B on A, which is B cos theta. Vector component of B bar along A bar, which is B cos theta. In which direction? A cap. But how can you write this even better? Look at this thing. So we know A dot B is mod A mod B cos theta. So from here I can write mod A cos theta is nothing but A bar dot B bar by mod B bar. You can take this and substitute here and this becomes A bar dot B bar. So I'm replacing this A cos theta with this thing here. Yeah, it looks complex and all, but this will give you the magnitude and there is a B cap. And this can be written as same way, A dot B by mod A cap. So I would suggest you remember this is better. Remember that it is a shadow A cos theta into B cap. And then you say, okay, A cos theta is nothing but A dot B send B that side. I think that will be a more easy way to remember it. So these are the vector components. Now, as such, no one will ask you these things directly in the exam, but this thing will come as a part of something else. If I have to show you, it would look something of this sort. So later on, you'll encounter questions like this. You will not understand now. So you will see questions of something of this sort. It's all vector-based questions. So velocity of a ball before collision is 2y plus 3j. Velocity of the ball after collision is I minus j. You see, they'll give you vectors like this. And they'll ask you something called E and all. So if you see, we do all this stuff. This is the vector component of one vector in the other direction. This is the vector component. You can see how the answers look. They look all deadly and dangerous, but you get something of this sort. V dot n cap by U dot n cap and all that stuff. So don't worry too much about it, but applications would be of that sort. Understand one thing, when you're learning vectors is simply a tool. It's like you're learning how to use a screwdriver, you're learning how to use a hammer, you're learning how to use some kind of a tool, mathematical tool. Now, the tool can be used at different places in different ways. But this is how you get vector component of one vector in another direction. I'll give you one more example, but have a look at this page first. So one way to think of the vector components is the shadows. What is the length of your shadow on the other vector? And what is the direction of your shadow? Clear? Let me give you another example. For example, let's say we have a spring and we have a block. And let's say this angle is theta. So the question comes like this. What is the displacement of this spring? Or, how much will the spring stretch? If I move this block by x this way, The question is, how much will the spring stretch? So this is where we use components. So the idea comes like this. So the spring which is touching here, this point of the spring is going forward by x. This angle is theta. Now, if you resolve this into components, this component would be x cos theta. This would be x sine theta. So we not bother about x sine theta, but what does x cos theta tell you? So x cos theta is the component of the x or the displacement of the block. So x is the displacement of the block. So if you push the block by x, the spring will stretch by x cos theta. Component of displacement along spring. So what this thing tells you is if block moves by x horizontally, the spring stretches by x cos theta. It doesn't stretch by x. This is one way you can think of. That's the meaning of components. That is how we use it. So when the block is pushed by x, the spring will actually stretch by x cos theta. Are you clear with this thing? Getting the idea about the component? So just a concept there. Yeah, great. So let's see this thing. So this is how you can apply this later on, but let's see when the applications come, you will notice it. But for now, let's play with these things. So this is the main thing, how to get the dot product and how to get the angle. In case anyone wants to note it down, you can put it down. Like this is how you get the angle. A dot B is AX, BX, AY, BY, AZ, BZ, and this is how you get the angle there. Clear? Great. Let's see some questions. Let's say we have A bar 2y minus 3j, 4k. B bar is I plus j plus k. Find A bar dot B bar. Find angle between A bar and B bar. Find vector component of A bar along B bar. Find vector component of B bar along A bar. Let's get there. Let me ask you one more. Find A bar plus B bar dot product to A bar minus B bar. Let's get this 5 questions. Just formula substitutions there, nothing else. So let's see, give it a try. I'll give you a minute and I'll show you the first 2 questions. Was root r by 29. What is r? I think mistyped something. 3. That's fine. Let me add one more question here. Find vector component of a bar perpendicular to b bar, not parallel, perpendicular to b bar. That would be a good question. I'll put a star for this. Let's see how will you handle that also. Okay, let's see the first two questions. What is a dot b? A bar dot b bar. Simply multiply I ka coefficients, that is 2 into 1. Multiply j ka coefficients, minus 3 into 1. Multiply k ka coefficients, 4 into 1. So that's 2, 6, minus 3, 3. First one is done. How do you find the angle between two vectors? A bar dot b bar is mod A, mod B, cos theta. A dot B is 3, we found out. What is mod A? Root over 2 square, 3 square, 4 square. I hope you remember how to get the magnitude of a vector, which is, I'll write it down, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square by root over 1 square, 1 square, 1 square. That's cos theta. So this thing turns out to be cos theta 3 by, that's root over 29 into root 3. That will be root over 3 by 29. Easy. That's it. Like I said, there's nothing to think there. You know the formula, put it there and you'll get the answers. Go ahead with C and D. Try. I'll give you another minute for C and D. How to find the vector component of A bar along B bar. In case you forgot, look at this how we wrote. Vector component of A bar along B bar is simply A cos theta into B cap. But what is A cos theta? A cos theta is A dot B by mod B. So I would say don't remember this formula, this thing, but remember this way. What is component A cos theta? Which direction? B cap. What is the component of B along A? B cos theta, which direction? A cap. And you can figure out A cos theta and A sin B sin theta from here anyways. But see, however, it works well. Find the vector component of A bar along B bar. So this is what I was asking you. Vector component of A bar along B bar is A cos theta, B cap. What is A cos theta? A bar dot B bar by mod B, that's and B cap. Try. You know A dot B, you know mod B, you know B cap. Okay, let's see. It's a B cap. I have to give me a vector quantity. So see, what is A dot B? A dot B is 3. What is mod B? Root 3. What is B cap? B cap is simply meaning the vector by its magnitude. So that will be I cap plus J cap plus K cap. That is your B bar by root 3. Is that how we find the unit vector? So B cap is simply B bar by mod B bar. So that will cancel off. You actually end up with I plus J plus K. Clear with this? So interestingly, the component of A bar along B bar is B bar only. But what about D? You want the vector component of B bar along A bar. So this is B cos theta A cap. Same story. This is A dot B by mod A into A cap. What is A dot B? 3. What is mod A? Root 29. What is A cap? Take the vector A cap, root 3 j plus 4k, and divide by its magnitude, root 29. So this will be 3y 29 times 2y minus 3j plus 4k. Please check. Those are the vector components. What about E and F? Keep going. Any doubt so far? Let's see the next two. Find A plus B bar dot 2A minus B bar. 40, okay, let's see. Okay, let's see the E thing. Now, one thing what you can do, right? You can add A plus B, add 2A minus B, and then you can do the dot product. That works. Or you can do even better. A plus B bar dot 2A minus B bar. Just multiply this. A dot 2A, that will be 2A square. Then you have minus A dot B. So I'll write it down for you. It will be 2A dot A. Then this will be minus A dot B. Then this is 2B dot A minus B dot B. A dot A is A square. A dot B, 2 dot B A, that's A dot B. And minus B dot B is B square. So what is A square? It is simply the magnitude. 2 into root 29 ka square. What is A dot B? 3. What is B? Root 3 ka square. That's 3 and 3 will go off, and this is 29 plus 58. Right? Or did I mess up the calculation somewhere? If you have taken A plus B separately and 2A minus B separately, you should still get the same thing. But this is a much better way to do, because what will you do tomorrow if I say A plus B plus C and all? You can do it, still becomes a little more complex, but this is a way to handle it. Any doubts on this part? And what about the F? F is the main question in the whole thing. I taught you how to find the component along the B bar. I didn't teach you how to get the perpendicular component. So take a minute or two. But any doubts on A, B, C, D, please ask. Okay, that looks right, Anish. Let's see the F part. All are clear with the E part, right? Let's talk about the F part a bit. So you are asking to find a vector perpendicular to the A bar. Let's go back to the basics. So this is how we started the whole story with. We said this is an A bar, and we said there was B bar. And then we said, okay, we can divide A into two components. So this was A cos theta. And automatically there's also a component A sin theta, which we didn't bother about till now. Right? Now, let me write this thing in this way. A cos theta, I can write this thing as a parallel. So the two lines meaning it's a parallel vector. So A parallel meaning this is a vector component of A bar along B bar. So this is that your A cos theta. Let's call this thing A perpendicular. I'll just use two symbols there. So this is A perpendicular. So this is what I'm asking you to find. Vector component, which is basically the A sin theta thing. A bar perpendicular to B bar. Great. Now it looks all complex and all, but if you just think about something, you'll get it. So can I write A bar is equal to simply A parallel vector plus A perpendicular vector? Can I do this? A vector can be represented with its two components, na? A cos theta I cap and A sin theta j cap. So I can split this vector A into A parallel and A perpendicular. Make sense? And you want to find A perpendicular. So what is A perpendicular vector? I'll just put arrow there. So A perpendicular vector is simply A bar minus A parallel vector. Meaning from the full vector, if you remove the horizontal component, then what will be remaining? The perpendicular. Is that logic making sense? The total vector has two parts, a parallel vector and a perpendicular vector. And you already know how to calculate the parallel vector. If you can remove parallel vector from the whole vector, what's remaining must be the perpendicular vector. So this must be A bar minus, and what is A parallel? A cos theta B cap. And what is A cos theta B cap? A bar minus A bar dot B bar by mod A bar into B cap. There. This is your A perpendicular. Again, don't remember the formula, understand the process, how we approached, like how did we arrive there? We started with the story, the whole vector A bar can be split into two parts, A parallel and A perpendicular. A parallel is something which I have already done. You cannot get A perpendicular directly, but we can argue from the total, if you remove A parallel, what's remaining must be A perpendicular. Sure with this? And then that's it. With that logic, now you can solve and you'll be done. So your A perpendicular vector is A bar, which is 2i minus 3j plus 4k minus what is A dot B? 3. What is mod A? Root 29. And what's B cap? I cap plus J cap plus K cap by root 3. No, wait, sorry, this is mod B bar. So you just have to subtract both of them. So this is 2i minus 3j plus 4k minus I plus j plus k. Subtract i's together, that would be I minus 3j minus this is minus 4j, 4k minus k plus 3k. That's your perpendicular vector. Is this making sense? So you can get the parallel one, you can get the perpendicular component, both of them. There. So this one question, right? It has 6 parts. So this thing covers most of the basic stuff and everything. All clear with this? Going ahead, any doubts so far? Anyone? Meet, Tanmay, Rohit, clear? Any confusion, anything you're not convinced, please ask. Radhika, Ananya, Ahana, clear? Great. Let's go ahead then. We got a cube here. The cube, this is the third time you're seeing already by now. X, Y, and Z. This is a cube of side A. Let's say this is A, this is O, this is B, this is C, this is D. D is your face center. Find the angle between OC bar. Hmm, no. Find the angle between AC bar and CB bar. OD bar. Let's call this thing E, and CE bar. So if I ask you some two random vectors in 3D space, now suddenly it becomes more difficult to visualize. If I put on a paper, right, two lines and ask you what is the angle between them, you can still figure it out. But in 3D space, it looks difficult to visualize. So that's where this thing will really help you out. Let's do one thing. Let's call this thing CA bar. Better. Same thing, but you get a minus sign. Find the angle between CA bar and CB bar. OD bar and CE bar. Step one, you have to find the coordinates, which you learned in Cartesian coordinate system. Step two, find the position vectors that you found in vectors. Step three, get the angles. So dot product. So that is how we build the whole thing. Like, mm, that looks right, Karthik. First one. Yeah, but you can do with the dot product. You don't require for that. I'm just getting you used to the dot product or kuch nahi. I know there are ways to figure out sometimes easily, but get for OD and CE. So what is the answer for the first one then, Dhruv? Nahi, na, that is wrong. What is the point of saying there's no need in getting a wrong answer? Do. We have one answer for the first one. You got an answer, please type in the chat box. To the co-host here, I hope you're not sending it to the wrong one. There are two logins. One is the host and the co-host. Host is where I'm writing, so I can't see anything there. You have to send it to the other one where I'm looking at you on my desktop. Well, it's got an angle. Nee, Rohit, that is wrong. What Dhruv was saying was logical. Huh? See, I'll tell you something. If you look at the line AB, if you make a triangle AB, that is the diagonal, which is root 2a. You can join the line AC, that is also root 2a. You can join BC. That is also root 2. Isn't that an equilateral triangle? That's a triangle, isn't it? ABC is a triangle which is little inclined. In an equilateral triangle, all the angles are 60 degrees. That is just geometry. Every time you won't be so lucky, you'll get a beautiful triangle like this, right? But in this case, you can see. So let's prove it with a dot product. It is 60 degrees. It can't be 45. It can't be 90. Yeah, right, Dave. That first one is 60. Now get the second one. The first one you could have figured out like that by seeing, but see, it feels like, oh, we could have figured this out. नहीं होता ऐसा एग्जाम में. I have seen this, exam में under that pressure of 3 hours, right? People write 2 plus 2, 22 and come. And I'm not joking, right? My favorite mistake in 11th and 12th is this. 3 into 3 is 6. I have no idea why I used to do that, but I did it in my final chemistry paper also. So happens. Last year, one of your senior, he did 12 minus what? He did something. He wrote 12 minus 8 is equal to 20, and he came. This is the guy who got 600 rank. Now, so when you're under pressure, right, even small, simple things will start looking weird. And that's the reason you need to have a process. When you see a question, when you have some certain model, and if you know the process, you need to go there and work like, like you're working automatically. We need to decrease the number of decisions you can take in the exam so that you can use all that processing power for the tough questions where you have to think a lot. So, yeah. How to get this thing? Let me show you the first one. So step one, you literally have to get the coordinates. There is no way out. So this is my origin. So C ka coordinate will be a comma 0 comma a. I hope you got that. And a ka coordinate will be 0 comma a comma a. Someone didn't get the coordinates, ask me. E ka coordinate will be 0 comma a comma 0. B ka coordinate will be a comma 0. D ka coordinate will be, I'll travel here a, I'll travel a by 2 and I'll go up a by 2. So D ka coordinate will be a comma a by 2 comma a by 2. All got the coordinates? So once you got the coordinates, get the vectors. What is CA bar? CA bar, C to A is final, C is initial, so 0 minus AI cap, A J cap, A will cancel, that is gone. CB bar, A minus A, that is gone, A minus 0, A J cap, and minus A K cap. C, B, so B minus C, so perfect. You want to find the angle between them? So CA bar dot CB bar is mod CA bar, mod CB bar, angle between them. Isn't that what we do? A dot B is mod A, mod B, cos theta. So CA dot B, now be careful here. This is I and this is J. So you can't multiply. So if you want, I'll write one thing. Wait, I'll write 0 K cap, 0 I cap, A J cap minus A K cap. So you have to be careful. Don't mix up things. So A into 0, 0, A into A. This will be A square. Mod CA will be A root 2. Mod CB, that also will be A root 2. This is cos theta. A will cancel out. So cos theta is equal to half. Theta is 60 degrees. I hope you're getting what I'm asking you to do now. Sure? Can you do for OD and CE the second part? Try. So this dot product will be pretty useful when you have to find angle between, lines in 3D. I think you won't get a good angle. You'll get something like cos inverse mein aayega. You can leave it like that. Any answers? Step one, find the vectors. Step two, do the dot product. So OD bar, AI cap, K by 2 J cap, K by 2 K cap. CE bar. E is final, C is initial. So E minus C. So 0 minus A minus AI cap, A minus 0 AJ cap, 0 minus A AK cap. Please check that. Everyone got your OD bar and CE bar right? Now, can you get the angle? Try, I'll give you a minute more. ध्रुव ए आएगा नहीं आंसर में. Meet, clear so far? Confused.
Yes, sir.
Confused about which part? You confused with something?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're confused with something. What are you confused with? Meaning you understood, you didn't understand. You're saying yes, sir, for what? You're confused. Yes, sir. You understood, yes, sir. Which S1 is that?
Sir, I did a calculation mistake.
Okay, but you got the thing right. What we are doing, the process is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
That's the thing. So what is the answer for this thing? Give it a try. And Dhruv gave one answer. Anyone else? Karthik, Anish, answers. Why are you guys chilling out? Give me the answer. Seriously, you're struggling with this. So you got cos inverse A root 2 by 3. You guys are getting confused with the dot product or something, yeah? So we have to do OD bar dot CE bar is mod OD bar mod CE bar and the angle between them. So this will be AI plus A by 2J. So do the dot product A into A minus A square, A by 2 into A square by 2, A by 2 minus A square by 2. Mod OD bar will be root over A square by 4 plus A square by 4. You have to square the coefficients. CE bar will be root over A square plus A square plus A square. Please check your calculation. So this is cos theta. A square by A square will cancel. This is minus A square. This guy will be A into, that is 3 by 4. This will be A into root 3. A will cancel on both the sides. You get minus 1 is equal to, that's 3 by 4 is root 3 by 2 into root 3. So we get cos theta is equal to minus 2 by 3. What a good answer. There's no root, nothing here. Please check until unless I messed up some calculations. Prisha, right? Prisha also got it. Prisha, you didn't get a minus sign? Check. Do we get a minus sign? That's important because minus sign implies it's an obtuse angle. If you got a plus, it's an acute angle. They're completely two different answers. OD bar is right. CE bar. Okay, that looks, I don't know, it looks right, but let me know if I did some calculation mistake here. All clear with the steps here. Any doubts on the process what we did? So step 1, get the coordinates. Step 2, find the vector. Step 3, do the dot product. That's the whole process there. Clear? Okay, Dhruv also saying you got the same thing. I think Prisha also got it. I think there is just a minus sign somewhere. You have to check. Yeah. All clear with this? So let's do one more. Let's say we have two vectors A bar, which is 2i minus 3j plus xk cap. B bar is xi minus 4j plus 2k cap. Find x. This is an easy one. If A is perpendicular to B bar. Mm, yeah, right, Prisha. Right, Karthik. This is an easy one. Right, Rohit. नहीं ध्रुव साइन का प्रॉब्लम है. So if two vectors are perpendicular, then a bar dot b bar is 0. Since a bar is perpendicular to b bar. So just multiply, that is 2 into x, that's plus 12 plus 2x is equal to 0. X is equal to minus 3. Easy? All got this thing? Easy stuff. Take a break, come back by 9:40. We'll continue from here. Any doubt so far? Anything you're not clear, you can ask me. Or let's go take a break, go away from the screen for some time. So we'll come back in 10 minutes by 9:40. चलो, let's start off. Camps on everyone. So let's say the particle moves along the line y is equal to 2x plus 3. Which of the following vectors are perpendicular to the line? So they'll give you mostly options there. 2y plus j. Because if I just ask you to find the vector, there are actually infinite vectors which are perpendicular. They have to play with the options only. So this will be I plus 2j minus 2y plus j minus I minus 2j. What do you guys think? So out of these four options, one is right. One of them is perpendicular to the line y is equal to 2x plus 3. How do you compare a line and a vector? Think. Okay, Karthik got it. Anish wrong. Ananya. What is the answer, Ananya? You should tell that, huh? Nee, Rohit. So how do we get this thing? Now, first thing you should know this. In school, you must have studied. If two lines are perpendicular, then the product of the slopes is -1. Yeah, I'm sure. Nee, Prasha. Anish, I'm asking which of the following four vectors, what are you even calculating? Right? So if two lines are perpendicular, the product of the slopes must be -1. Now, if someone gives you a vector and how to get the slope of that, let's say the vector is xi plus yj. So x and y are simply the coordinates. Think of like this. So indirectly, you are asking to find the slope of this line. So slope tan theta is y by x. So that is the slope of a vector, y by x. And for our line, y is equal to 2x plus 3. 2 is the slope of the line. Now you're saying the slope of this and slope of this, the product of these two must be -1. So the product of slopes will be 2 into y by x must be -1. So what this thing tells you, right? It should be in the form of, that means y by x must be in the form of -1 by 2. Or let me write like this. x coordinate and the y coordinate should be in the ratio of 2 by minus 1 or minus 2 by 1, meaning the vector should be either 2i because that's the x coordinate and minus j, or it should be minus 2i plus j. That x and y coordinate should be in the ratio of 2 is to minus 1 or minus 2 is to 1. Isn't that the meaning of it? Because see, this is x and y coordinate, right? So you're saying your x coordinate is 2 times the y coordinate. So the only option which matches here is 2y minus j or minus 2y plus j is the option. Is that making sense, everyone? You could have kind of guessed it when you just try to see this thing. If you try to draw the line y is equal to 2x plus 3, that looks like this. And just look at the vectors 2y minus j. So 2y minus j, that is x is 2 and y is 1. So this is the point here. So this is the 2y plus j. I don't think they're perpendicular. मतलब देख के तो लग रहा है I plus 2j, that is x is 1 and y is j. So this is like this. So this is I plus 2j. That also doesn't look perpendicular. Minus 2y plus j. So minus 2 is backward and j is up. So somewhere here. So yeah, there is a possibility this could be perpendicular. Minus I minus 2j, that's minus minus. So that is something like this. So yeah, like I'm saying, it's not that easy to just see the thing, but yeah, this will show you. Is this clear, everyone? So we took the vector is xi plus yj. If it is three-dimensional, it would be a pain, like because 2D we could figure it out. But there is a way to convert a a 3D line into an vector also, but we don't have it in physics. They'll teach you in maths. Even in maths, we have a chapter called vectors. So that's much more complex. What you're doing is simpler version of it. But all clear with this? Great. Let's see one more. We have two vectors. Mod a bar is equal to 2. Mod b bar is equal to 1. Angle between a bar and b bar is pi by 3, 60 degrees. So I gave you the magnitude of the vectors and I gave you the angle between them. I didn't tell you how these vectors are. Using this information, you have to find the angle between a bar plus b bar and 2a bar minus b bar. This is a good one. In dot product, this is one of the good questions. I just gave you the magnitude of two vectors and I gave you the angle between them. I don't know what is a bar, I don't know what is b bar, but question is saying you can find the angle between a plus b and 2a minus b. Let's see how you approach this. No idea, Dhruv. Is that what you're going to ask in the examiner? I gave you 2 minutes to think, figure it out, and others do keep your cams on. There I'm running away. I'm going to tell you the answer anyway, but give it a try in the meantime. How do we approach this? No vectors, nothing is inward there. But I'll tell you one thing. Keep this in mind. They ask you to find angle between two vectors. the first thing that should come to your mind is the dot product. If I have two vectors and you want the angle between them, dot product is the biggest value. That is a thing which will come most of the times. So how do we approach this? Take a minute more, think about it. It is completely fine if you don't get an answer, but I wanted to think a bit how do we approach. Then I'll show you how to approach, then I'll give you some more time. Okay, let's see. Again, how do you find the angle between two vectors? We use the dot product, right? So think of like this. So A plus B bar dot 2A minus B bar must be equal to mod A plus B mod 2A minus B alpha. So think of like this. Treat this A plus B like a vector C bar dot D bar is mod C bar mod D bar alpha. Can I say like this? So treat this whole A plus B as a new vector called C bar. Treat the whole 2A minus B as a new vector called D bar. I'm asking you to find the angle between A and B. So C and D. So be careful. Theta is the angle between A and B. Alpha is the angle between C and D. So that's what you want to find. You want to find alpha. Alpha is angle between A plus B and 2A minus B. See, from here, can you figure it out? Theta is angle between A and B. So don't get confused between theta and alpha. So on the LHS, we have a dot product. On the RHS, we have parallelogram law of vectors. Yaad hai? What is mod A plus B? A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta, the parallelogram law of vectors. So get this. Everyone should try. Okay, Prisha got something. That looks right, Prisha. Anyone else? Okay, let's see. A plus B dot 2A minus B, it just becomes a little lengthy. Mod of A plus B 2A minus B cos alpha. On the LHS, that would be 2A dot A minus A dot B. 2B dot A minus B dot B. What is mod A plus B? Root over A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. What is 2A minus B? 4A square plus B square plus 2 into 2A minus B. So wherever there is B, replace with minus B cos theta. A dot A is A square. This is A dot B minus B square. A and B ka values are given, right? So A is 2 and B is 1. So 2 square, 1 square, 2 into 2 into 1 into theta is 60. So that's cos 60. This is 4 into 2 square plus 1 square. 2 into 2 into 2 minus 1. Cos 60 is half. Again, A is how much? A is 2 square, that's 8. A dot B is 2 into 1 into, again, cos 60 minus 1. This would be 2 will cancel. That will be 2, 1, 3, 7. And that is 16 plus 1, 17. 17 minus 8. I'm messing up the equations, I guess. Wait. This is 2 square, right? 16 plus 1, 17. 17 minus 4, that is, sorry. Oh, 13. On the LHS, you'll get 8. Root, that is root 91. Cos alpha. Check. Right, Ahana. All clear with this? This is one a decent variety. So you use both parallelogram law vectors on the RHS and the dot product on the LHS. Clear? Next one. Next one. We have three vectors. A bar is equal to 2. Mod B bar is equal to 3. Mod C bar is equal to 4. Angle between any two vectors is 60 degrees. Find A bar plus B bar plus C bar का magnitude. There are three vectors whose magnitudes are given 2, 3, 4. The angle between any two vectors is 60 degrees. If you add these kind of vectors, three of them, उनका resultant क्या होगा? Forget about the question. Tell me this thing. Think about this thing. Spend some time on this. Can you imagine how will the three vectors look like? Start from there. Forget about solving the question. Think about that. Take a minute. Figure out how will these three vectors look like. And look at the word. That's important. The angle between any two vectors is 60. The word is important. I'll give you a little more context. For example, if you say like this, okay, this is A, this is B, this is 60. I said, okay, great. If you say this is C and this is 60, that is great. But the angle between A and C is not 60. Right? Or even if it is 120. How will you keep the three vectors such that the angle between any two vectors is 60? Did anyone figure out how it looks? These three vectors cannot be on the same plane. They cannot be on a paper. They have to be out of plane. They should be in 3D. they would look something of this sort. I'll show you a better picture, but it's always important if you can visualize on your own. The more you take help of the things, right? So they would look something of this sort, where this is 60. I'll draw a little big. This is 1, this is 1, and this vector is coming out of the plane. So this is 60, this is 60, and this is 60. So I'll show you. Let's see. Imagine this. This is called a tetrahedron. So observe this thing. If you take, this is one vector, this is one vector, and this is one vector. Or maybe you can even look at anywhere actually. This is one vector, this is one vector, and this is one vector. This angle is 60. This angle is 60. And this angle is 60. Able to visualize how it is? It's like, the three things coming from one point. It's like a cone. Basically, the three vectors are like this. This shape is called a tetrahedron. Another important shape. And tetrahedron ka property, right? All the faces are equator triangles. This shape is a tetrahedron. Later on in chemistry, right, you will study something called methane molecule, CH4. The shape of a methane, right, is a tetrahedron. The CH4 molecule, the configuration is actually a tetrahedron. So this is a tetrahedron. All faces are equilateral triangles. You can actually do this with geometry also, but yeah, that goes a little long. Vectors will make your life easy. Tetrahedron has very good, interesting properties. So from here, if you drop a perpendicular from the top, that will come and land exactly on the centroid of the base triangle. So the bottom equilateral triangle ka centroid and the topmost peak value, when you join them, they are actually in a vertical line. This would be perpendicular. Are you guys able to visualize the picture? You cannot draw 60 degrees in a plane. These have to be out of the plane. And where else you can get a tetrahedron from? If you draw a cube, in the cube there's a tetrahedron. So take a cube, take 2 points here, let's say this guy and this guy, join them. This is the body ka, bottom ka diagonal. Take the other 2 points. So this is O, this is A, this is B, and this is C, and join them. You're getting how these two are? And now if you connect all these things, that is a tetrahedron. The shape which you get is actually a tetrahedron. So you take the top diagonal and you take the bottom other diagonal, and if you join these 4 points here, what you get is a tetrahedron. So basically, this forms an equilateral triangle, and the other 4 will form an equilateral triangle. You can get a tetrahedron like this also. But until unless you know this before, it's difficult to figure out that there is a tetrahedron in a cube. All clear with this? But anyway, you don't need to do all this to solve the question. You will get the answer without all this understanding, but it's always important to have an idea how it looks, because later on you will encounter this kind of stuff. So how do we solve this question? I don't want to know all this stuff. Radhika, there's a cat behind you. That's your own cat? Okay, then fine. I thought something came to steal your food or something. So A plus B plus C ka square, I can write this thing as, think of like this. A plus B plus C. Yeah, cats are fine. One of my friend in IIT, right? He loves cats. He has 6 cats at house. He's a mechanical engineer. He's also a good magician. Last time I talked to him was like 4 years back. I was talking to him. His cat came. I said, "Hey, your cat is there." I said, "Don't call it a cat. It's called Diana." I said, like, okay, fine. That guy was so obsessed with his cat. And then he was not getting married because of the cats. Right. So his parents said, "Go die, matlab do whatever you want." Right? There is no girl who's ready to marry you. And this guy found a girl in Kerala. That girl also loves cats. She has some 7 cats. This guy has 6 cats. The both of them stay together with 13 cats now. It's an interesting thing. We don't go to his house anymore. It's just cats, cats, cats. Yeah, people can love cats. Anyway, so if you take a plus b plus c dot a plus b plus c, this is nothing but what? So if you just multiply, you will see something. This is a square plus b square plus c square plus 2 times a bar dot b bar plus 2 times b bar dot c bar plus 2 times c bar dot a bar. It makes your life pretty faster. And the left hand side is nothing but mod of a bar plus b bar plus c bar ka square. What is a square? The values are given. A is 2, 3, 4, right? So this is 2 square, 3 square, 4 square. This is 2 into 3. Remember cos 60, that is half. Because angle between any two of them is 60 degrees. This is 2 into 3 into 4. Again cos 60 half. This is 2 into C is 4 into A is 2 into half. This should end up with what? That is 16, 4, 20, 29. 2 will go off. 6, 2 will go off. 12, 2 will go off. 8. 8 to 20, 26, 26, 29. That's 52, 3, 55. So mod A plus B plus C is root 55. Did you see? Meaning this method, right, just removes all the understanding. There is no need to think how are the vectors. There is no need to think how they will look. Nothing. You have no idea how the vectors are looking also. Gives you the answer. So dot product has that advantage. But then again, being physics people, right, we always need to have an understanding, okay, how will this even look like? The idea is always important. It's not about getting an answer. Answer, though, you will get it eventually. Because see, if you're planning for an exam like CET or mains, right, you can have minimal understanding. What matters is only the different models and questions. It works. But once you plan for an exam like advanced, you should really be, in love with the subject. You should be really very thorough with it. And upper se physics is that kind of subject, right? If you go to top 5,000 rankers and if you ask them what is your favorite subject, 90% will say physics is their favorite subject. You give them, no matter what kind of paper you give them, most of them solve. So ये होता है, problem क्या होता है? Because of that, what decides your rank in top 1,000 is max. Because everyone does physics well in the top 5,000. So without physics and chemistry, you won't even enter top 2,000 category. After 1,000, what decides your rank is max. That is because no matter how hard physics paper comes, people do it for some reason. So max becomes a deciding factor then. So anyway, but that is something for you to think of later on. But for now, always balance your subjects. Clear with this thing, tetrahedron? So that is one thing. So there we have more there, but today, right, we will end up with that. Today, like I said, right, we are going to register in the website and I'll give you access for the testing platform. So what I will do, I will send you a link in the group now. You can open that, you can register. I'll show you how to register. Then I'll show you how the platform looks and everything. I will also upload a sample paper you can try. So we will start the testing mostly from next week. I'll send you the, the portion and everything. So we can start off like officially from maybe next week or something. So I'm posting the link in the group, so you can go to that. Perfect. There, I posted the link in the WhatsApp group. You can go there. Or if you want, I can post it in the Zoom also. Just click on that. If you click on that, you will see a thing. Arun Physics Academy, there's a website, register. Just put your name, just put your email ID, and just put your password, which you can remember. Keep some simple password. No one is going to hack your account. So keep something which you can remember. Is everyone able to see that? You can, in case you don't have an access to a computer now, just look at what we are doing and later maybe you can try. I can still give you access later on. It's not a big deal. So I'm sharing my screen. You can look at this. So this is the page you must be seeing. So once you get this, put your name, blah, 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 put your email ID, put some password and just click register. And once you're done, just tell me you are done. I'll give you access.
So I'm done.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Done. Done.
Yeah, I have to put my mobile.
yeah, you can put your numbers there. So you're done. Wait, then give me some time. Let me give you access.
Sir, done.
Oh, you guys are so fast, right? And there's nothing there anyway.
Yes.
Just... Radhika, Karthik, I gave you. Now again try to log in once I say I gave you. Dhruv, I gave you. Rohit, you have access. Meet, you have access. Tanmay, you have access. Trisha, you have access. Who else? Dave and Anish. Okay, Ahana. Currently, there is no test there. Wait, I'll assign a test also. Then you can see how it looks. Ananya, Ahana gave you access. Anish, you have access. Dave, you also have access. Yeah, I think I gave everyone now. If you just try to go and log in again. Wait, let me give you.
Yes, sir. It came. It came.
Yeah, refresh. Now you'll see something called a sample test. Can you guys see that thing? Perfect. Wait, let me share my screen and show you how it would look. There. So if you have gone to the screen, right, this is how the whole thing looks. Is this how it is looking for you all? All right. So here, if you go to My Test on the left-hand side, so you can see on the left side, you have a full tab there, dashboard, my course, my test, report, and everything. So if you go to My Test, I have given access to two tests there. You can clearly see one is a sample test, one is a PSC3 advanced. There is some test like that. So what you need to do, right? You just need to go to, wait, I'll just increase this access again. Yeah, perfect.
Sir, do we have to give the test?
Patience, patience. I'm in a hurry. So you can just click on anything. You can just click on that attempt. If you see attempt, right, it'll ask you. These are the instructions. At the bottom, you have this thing. You press this. You say start the test. So this is how the platform will look like. And this is the exactly JEE Mains ka platform. This is how it looks. So we have copied that exact thing and we made a replica out of it. So when you write a test, right, you can see there is some question. Don't worry too much about the question. So you can see the question there. There are 4 options. So you solve the question, you mark it here, and देखो यहाँ पे options important है. This should be save and next. If you don't click that, it won't get saved. And how do you know you clicked it? Look at here right hand side. See, it became green. It became green. For example, see, you look at question 2. I'm clicking the option 1, but I don't press save and next. Right? I just go for question 3. That's it. See, question 2 is not marked. You won't get marks for this. Let's say I went to question 3 and this is a matrix matching. Let's say I selected some options like this, whatever. It's a multiple thing. Don't worry. Now, let's say you want to come back to this question again. You can look at the left bottom here. It's called mark for review. So if you press this, the color changes to purple here. It tells you that you want to come back to this question. So basically there are 4 colors here. The green tells you have marked the question. Red tells you seen the question, but you didn't mark anything. The purple question, you marked it for review and it will be considered for evaluation. So if you mark it for review and if you go ahead, even if you don't submit it, the thing will count it like you marked it. And the gray color indicates you have not seen the question so far. And once you're done with the test, you can submit the test, right? It will ask you one last time, like, you are submitting the test. Yeah, you submit the test and it's submitted. And when you go to the detailed analysis report, you'll get your score. It will tell you everything, like how much time did you write the question, what is the thing and everything. So, and after writing the test, you can go to the reports and you can click the reports and there you can see your reports there. This will tell you about all your questions, overview, how much time did you take for each question, what is the, how much time you spent, what was your rank among all the people and everything. So you can play around with this thing. Okay, you can attempt the test multiple times, but the actual exam you can attempt only once. Let me show you one more. Look at this thing, PST3 Advanced. I'll click attempt. You have to say, okay, I'm ready. I have read all the instructions. I'm ready to begin. And if you observe, did you observe here on the right hand side? There's a timer. The moment you say start, the timer starts. At 1 hour, the timer will automatically just switch off. And one more thing, the website, right, has some anti features. If you're by chance closing the tab and going out and coming in, after 3 times the exam will shut down and will auto submit. So it has some anti-cheating features or something or like so. So there I can click it here, save and next. I can click it here, save and next. I can click it here, save and next. Click the options here, save and next. And notice one thing here. Look at the question type here on the top. This will tell you what kind of question you're attempting. This is MCQ multiple, meaning there are more than one answer. So you can mark 3 options. Save and next. This is MCQ multiple. Maybe you can mark 2 options. This is MCQ multiple. So this is an integer question. So here the answer should be in terms of numbers. So 56.25. So that's your answer. Save and next. This is 89, let's say, answer. This is 87, let's say that is the answer. This is 9, let's say, answer. And 56 answer. 2 answer, 3 answer. You can just mark 5 is an answer. And this is, I think, all integers here. So this is there. Now, let's say you want to go back to question 1. On the right side here, you can click 1. You'll directly go to question 1. And you can clearly see it is a single choice here. In this question, you can mark only once. You can't mark multiple options. Clear with this thing? So this is how exactly the advanced cup paper pattern will look like. This is how exactly the website will look like. So you guys need to get used to it from now, right? No one cares about your handwriting, nothing. You want to have a bigger font, you can make it plus here. You can make small font minus here. You can play around with the size. You can look at all the options, right? You can clear the responses. If you submit the test, it will ask you want to submit. Yes, you submit. And then there, first rank because I'm the only one who wrote the exam and I got only 9 marks. Right, so you can go for analysis also, subject report, question type there. It tells you how many questions you got right, how many questions you got wrong. You can go for overview. Overview will give you the solution. Again, you won't have solutions for everything, but it'll tell you the solution. It will tell you how much time you spent on each question. You can see it tells you this question you spent 1 minute, 1 second or something like that. So you can, for question 8, you spent 9 seconds for this. Question 14, you spent 1 second. Question 3, so. And the actual answer was 250, but you marked something else. So, yeah.
Sir, do we have to give this test that you have given it? Because it has integration and all. PST3 Advanced.
God, this is a sample test. Right? This is not a test. It is just a sample thing, right? I'm showing you how it works.
Oh, yeah.
Why you will give the test? Right, so understood, right, how the testing platform looks and works. So you can give those tests just randomly, just click everything. When you buy a new TV, what do? You take the remote and play with for 10 minutes, right? So that you understand what works. That's it. This is not a test. This is not marks or anything. It is just for you to show me platform aisa dikhega. Because next week when I start the exam, right, you will get confused how to write the test, right? Will you solve the question or will you get confused with the website? So I want you to get familiarized with the website before starting the test. Got my intention? So play around with the website, check it out. You will see stuff and everything. I will send you the testing schedule tomorrow. What is the syllabus? What is the test? And we'll start the test from next Friday mostly. So the test will be online every Friday. Let me explain you how it works also. So every Saturday mostly, right? Saturday evening, 6 o'clock, the test will be online. So I will post in the group. The test is online. Karke. You will have time to write till next Friday. Next Friday night 11 p.m. tak you will have time to write. That is because I know you'll also have other tests, other classes and everything. I'm not fixing up a time. So you got 1 week time. It's a 1 hour ka test. You can find 1 hour in a week and write the test. Friday 11 o'clock, the deadline ends. After that, if you submit also, nothing will go through. And Saturday 6 o'clock, I will post the results of the test. I will send you the analysis also. I'll tell you what is a good score, what you could have done better. I'll just give a rough thing about summary about the test, and then the new test will be online. And this will happen every week till your next year. So we will keep having tests every week. Clear? And every month, first week of the month, I'll send you a test schedule with portion, what type of test and everything for the entire month. So you have an idea this month, which week, which test is there. So you will have a clarity there. Like there is no need to keep thinking, oh, ye week kaun sa test hoga. So you have an idea there. Testing is important. Clear with this? So that is one thing there. So do check out, you've got the access and everything. All right, go through the sample tests. If you got confused, any doubt, next week, Monday, when we're catching up, you can ask me. We can discuss then in more detail if you have any confusions there. But don't worry, the testing will start from next Friday. So you have time to play around with the website for a week. So get used to it a bit. Okay, so that is one. So we'll be doing that henceforth. So great. So I think next Monday when we catch up, we'll continue from here. We will do a few more models on this dot product. And then we have something called vector cross product. So mostly maybe I think by Monday, we should be able to wrap up the chapter. And then after that, we'll start off with calculus. That would be quite interesting. But anyway, we have done with almost 27 questions. You can start working on this. So any doubts in today's class notes, right? Or any other doubts that you have from the sheets which I sent, anything, you can stay back and ask, or else you free to leave. I'll see you guys again on Monday. So same time. So take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys soon again.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.